Hi, Kupo, and today I'm going to talk about my personal top 10 PlayStation 4 games. And with this game generation coming to an end with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X or Series S coming out, I just thought I'll talk about my personal favorite PS4 games. Really, just to sum up this generation, there's a lot of remakes, a lot of reboots, and some were cool, some weren't so cool, but that's kind of how I summarized it. It was a very good generation. A lot of good games came out. There's a lot of games in general came out. But today we're going to talk about my personal top 10 games for the PS4. Now, these are games that I have purchased or I have played. And I just by looking at my list, I know that I can see people disagreeing with me, but like I said, these are games that I have purchased and I've actually played. And another thing that's going into how I came up with this list, because I have bought a lot of PS4 games over Xbox, but one thing that I considered is that how long I played it for, because there's also games that I haven't even beaten yet, or there's some games that I have bought that I probably played for 20-30 minutes. But so that's another thing I'm considering, is how long I played it. So without further ado, here is my number 10. My number 10 choice is gonna have to be MLB The Show. Just not one in particular, but just all the MLB games that came out this generation. I don't have it, but I have played. I don't know how many I've played, but all really fun games. And I had to put that on my list just because of the experience I've had with playing the show in general. Memories of me playing my brother, and just almost every night we had to end the night with at least one game. And if I lost or he lost, we had to get that one more game in. And just it's really up there just for the memories and how fun that we had, and all the times that our mom yelled at us for being too loud, because every time we hit a home run or every time there was an error, we had to scream and shout and make all sorts of noise at midnight, waking everybody up. And I know that from what I remember, that there were some that were okay, and then there was ones that are way better. I guess there were some that were home runs, and there was other ones that struck out. Get it? Okay, so yeah, MLB The Show would be my top 10 choice. No Man's Sky. And I can already tell you, listen, I already tell that this game did get a very bad rap when it first came out. A lot of promises, a lot of things that were said about this game, and it didn't go over too well, I think, for the first couple years, I think. But from what I've played and from what I've seen, it has made a comeback. A lot of good content has made for this game. It's really fun, and just it had to be on my list. I don't know how many hours I put into this game, even like before the add-ons, the updates have happened. But just the exploration, just space. I'm a sucker when it comes for anything space. But the space exploration, the planets, the discovering like new species and races and monoliths, and I just thought this is cool even before then, and I still think this is cool. So this is my number. I already know that for this being on my list at all, that this might stir up the pot a little bit. The Last of Us Part 2. And I'm going to say this from the get-go. I probably have about 10-11 hours into this, but I would definitely put this on my list because of just, well, for one, having the first one in mind and how that was such a great game and how could they follow up with it. But I feel like so far, because I'm still playing it, that this is doing a very good job. One thing that really upset us, and I'm not going to go up there, and it blew me away on exactly how early that happened, but the gameplay, I'm really digging the story. I like the post-apocalyptic world that this takes place in, and I like so far I'm liking everything about it, and I could get over what happened, because I understand it does really suck that it happened like that, but I really like this game and I can't wait to finish this. Final Fantasy 15. And when it comes to this, I personally really liked this game. I don't know how many hours I put into this, but the characters in this game I loved. Noct, and for some reason I can't think of his friends' names. I don't know why, but anyway, I really love this game. And it's kind of funny to say, but growing up, I've watched my older brother play like Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8, or seeing Final Fantasy 10 and Blockbuster and looking at it and being like, I don't know, I want to play it, but it's the 10th one, and this is me not knowing, thinking that all of them are connected. But watching my friends play Final Fantasy 10, and then fast forward to when 15 came out, I finally said, oh, you know what, I want to play this, and I played it, and this was actually my first real introduction to Final Fantasy, and I really loved it. I played the heck out of this. The ending hurt my feels, got me all worked up, but personally, I like this. I don't mind like the Final Fantasy, not the like the Kingdom Hearts action thing. I know that it's turn-based, and I have played the majority of the Final Fantasies by now, but I really like this entry. I think Noct is a good character. Arden, pretty good villain, I guess, but I do really like this game a lot. Final Fantasy 15. My first remake in my list is Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil series is probably one of my favorite video game franchises. I've played all of the 7 main ones. I have Outbreak, Code Veronica, and many other ones that I can't think of right now, but Resident Evil 2 was probably the one I played the most on the original PlayStation. So this coming out and just knowing that this is one of my favorite Resident Evils in the PlayStation trilogy, and man, this looked amazing. The graphics, the blood, the zombies, just everything, just the gameplay, it looked awesome, and that's one thing. And then just the gameplay, I liked the third-person view, kind of like Resident Evil 4 that they did it, but the gameplay was awesome. And funny enough, me being so familiar with the second one, I knew exactly where to go and what to do, and I think I was okay with that, knowing exactly what to do and what to expect from this. But the way that it was done, it was awesome. My opinion, better than Resident Evil 3. That was pretty cool. It kind of doing its own thing, but kind of staying along the lines of what the third one was about, was cool. I kind of found it really frustrating, but I do say that this one did it right, and this is awesome. Overwatch. Overwatch is, I'd probably say, my favorite multiplayer online game for this generation. It's pretty high. I put it at my number 5 just because since this game came out, I've probably put easily hundreds of hours into just playing this, dedicating days off, 8 hours straight, 9 hours sessions of just playing Overwatch. My character, I would usually go support, which would be Mercy, or I would go with, when she came out, Bridget or Brigitte, or however you pronounce it. Mora, when she came out. Mora. She's my main. I could easily kill streaks with her. But yeah, Overwatch, very fun game. Don't really know what else to say. If you haven't played Overwatch, I definitely recommend playing it, even though it's kind of died down in popularity. But Overwatch. My number 4 choice is going to have to go to Death Stranding. And this is another game that I'll throw out there by saying that I have not beaten yet. I'm still working on it. But there's something about it to where I get stuck just for hours. I tell myself I need to get along with the story. I need to progress, but I keep finding myself, I keep delivering packages. I can't help but not deliver packages. And there's something about just the walking around and running into the BTs and how it's creepy and just the whole atmosphere. I do really think that this post-apocalyptic world is unique, something I've never heard of, and I thought it was interesting to kind of have like almost an invisible enemy until you actually come across it. But the whole concept of it, I think, is really awesome. I don't mind that it's slow paced at all. Norman Reedus is really cool in it. Every time I see Norman Reedus on TV, I can't help but think of Death Stranding, and it makes me want to play it. But this is definitely on my list of games that I do plan on beating eventually. And I don't know how many hours I have in this. But also, Kojima made this. That's another reason I had to play it, even though it kind of looked, from the trailers, it looked kind of weird, and I really didn't know what to expect. But Kojima made it. Had to play it. I'm a big Kojima fan. But yes, Death Stranding. Can't wait to beat it. Number 4. All right. Top 3. It's getting hot in here. Woo, woo, woo. My number 3 is going to have to be Resident Evil 7. Now, this was a breath of fresh air after Resident Evil 5 and 6 left a bad taste in my mouth. I really wanted Resident Evil to get back into the survival horror, and this did not disappoint. I remember just picking this up right when it came out, pre-ordering it, and this was terrifying. And it, like I said, it was a breath of fresh air, a scary Resident Evil game, which really brought the horror. It had really gross enemies, really creepy stuff, and the first person was awesome. It was a good choice to bring back or introduce first person to Resident Evil, to the mainstream Resident Evil, and the Baker family and Ethan. Oh, the one thing I didn't like, but it kind of added to it, was Ethan was so stupid slow, and that's what kind of raised my panic levels, is that he was kind of a goob. But yeah, Resident Evil 7, it was an awesome game. I tried to replay it in VR, and I couldn't, because it was just a little too much. But yeah, Resident Evil 7, great game, highly recommended. And I'm sure this was I would expect this game to be on lots of people's list, but for me, this is my number 2. Red Dead Redemption 2. This game is amazing. I don't know how many hours I put into this. I do know when it came to like the end of the year sum ups that this was probably number 2, because it was number 1 was either Overwatch or Final Fantasy 14. But I love this game. I love the Western. I really recommend Red Dead, or prefer Red Dead over Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto kind of gets monotonous to me, and it just gets boring. But the hunting, the Arthur Morgan, really great character. Just how it looked. This game looked amazing, and yeah, I really don't know what else to say about it. But it's just, this game is awesome. A really good prequel to another amazing game, the original Red Dead. And I do say I have not beaten this either, and I have played this for a very long time. I'm doing all the side quests. I'm doing everything I can, because I really don't want this game to end. But from me talking to my friends and telling them where I am, is I'm near the end. But yes, Red Dead 2, great game. I can kind of wait to finish this, and I have put it on my shelf, and I'm getting caught up in other things. But I will eventually get back to this and beat it. And yeah, Red Dead 2. All right, so before I get to my number 1, I'm gonna share all of the other games that I have purchased that did not make the cut. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Just bought this. This is actually my last PS4 game that I plan to purchase. Good game. Brought me back to 1999. It really felt cool. Persona 5 Royale. I love this game. It is not on my list because I have barely played it. I think I have 7 hours in it or 8 hours, and if you've played Persona 5, you know that I have so much left to do, and that's why it's not on my list. But love Persona 5 Royale. Dissidia Final Fantasy. I liked this game. I hate that this is such a disappointment. I liked playing this game, but there was just so many things wrong with it, and I hate that it died. It had potential, or I don't know. I think it did. I love this game. Too soon. Dissidia Final Fantasy. Doom VFR. Very fun virtual reality game. Final Fantasy 14. Played this so long. This is very fun. Highly recommended. Just don't like the subscriptions. Every now and then I bring it back or cancel it, but very fun MMO. Okay, so I know a lot of people are kind of going to be upset that I don't have this on my list, and I'll explain why. And I kind of, well, we'll see. God of War. Good. I mean, I think it's a good game. I don't know how long I played it for, and I kind of forgot where I was, but I played it for a good minute when it came out, and then I just kind of put it right on my shelf and just forgot about it. I know, I hear that it's an amazing game, and I believe them, but this is really the first God of War game that I've actually played. I know a lot of people have played 1, 2, and 3, but it just never really caught my interest. But when this one came out, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. It kind of reminds me of Logan, and I do say it's a good game. It looked great, but I just lost interest, and I really don't feel like going back to it. And I'm sorry to say, because I know a lot of people, especially if my buddy's watching, it's a good game, but I don't think I want to go back to it. But yeah, God of War. All right, my next game is the reason why I upgraded to a PS4 Pro, because until this came out, I did purchase an Xbox One first, and then when this game came out and that changed it, I went out and got a PS4 Pro just for this game. Horizon Zero Dawn, and this is not on my list just because I didn't play it long. I don't know why. Great game. Aloy is a really good character. I don't even know what they're called, and I'm sorry to say, but I'm gonna call them robots. I like the robots. I like that it's futuristic, kind of Native American. I mean, I know this game's awesome. I just kind of forgot that this game's awesome, and I just haven't played it since. And I do want to play the new one, and I think that's going to be the reason why I come back to this, is so I could prepare for the new one coming out. But yeah, I completely forgot about it. So even if I don't remember how long I played it for either, maybe I played it for 10 hours. I don't even think I did that, but I just kind of forgot about this game. But from what I played and from what I can remember, this game is really cool. And like I said, the reason why I went out and bought a PlayStation 4, but maybe one day I'll get back to this. Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, we were all waiting long for Kingdom Hearts 3. I know I was, even though I've never beaten 1 or 2, or I've never played any of the other ones on the DS, but I really was looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3. I got it, played it, don't know how long, but I just something else came out. Something must have came out, because I just went right back on my shelf and just haven't really gotten back to it. I probably, like a month ago, maybe longer, I played it, and for like 20 minutes, I'm like, I'll play something else. But it was cool. It was fun, but I don't know. Just like I said, just with the other ones, really, 1 and 2, I really tried to beat the first one. I haven't beaten it. The second one, haven't beaten it. And then this one, just right back on my shelf. Kingdom Hearts 3. This one's really is. I'm not counting this as a PS4 game because it's originally on the PS3, but Last of Us Remastered. It's not on my list because it is a PS3 game, just remastered. But Last of Us 3, have played it, have beaten, amazing. Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know. I think this is a PS3 game. I'm almost certain, but still, this is I don't know how long I played this, but great game. Haven't gotten very far, but from what I've played and from what I remember, Metal Gear Solid 5, really good game. Mortal Kombat 11. I love Mortal Kombat. I've always have, ever since I was very little. I remember pre-ordering Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate when it came out. I love Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat franchise in general. I really like this over X, but the reason it's not on my list is because it's fighting game. I'm not a really big fighting game type of person, but Mortal Kombat comes out, I gotta get it. I play it every now and then, but like I said, it's just a fighting game. I do know there's campaign, and I don't really remember much of it, but yeah, Mortal Kombat 11, really good game, really fun, really awesome. Just Resident Evil 3. Like I said before, I definitely recommend the second one over this one, but it looked great. It was fun to play, but it was just really frustrating at times. And I recently played the original 3 just to kind of, because after playing this, I'm like, I don't really remember the original, so I went back and played the original, and I'm just like, it would have been better if they stuck with the original, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, good game, really frustrating, and in my opinion, not as good as the second one. Spider-Man. And I haven't played much of it. I know it's fun. Like it kind of reminds me of Spider-Man 2. I haven't done too many missions. I don't remember really the story, but good game. Just haven't played it long enough, and definitely one that I have to get back on the ball with. Tetris Effect. Really cool VR game, really colorful, awesome visuals, and plus it's Tetris. I love Tetris. Any Tetris, 99, I played that too. Sucker for Tetris ever since it was on the Game Boy. Tetris Effect. All right, so the moment that you've been waiting for, and no, I know you're waiting for it. I know. Take it easy. I know you've been waiting for it. That's why you're watching this video, right? And I don't know if I'm kind of biased, or I don't even know if I'm using that word correctly, honestly, but my number one choice, hands down, Final Fantasy VII, the remake. The original Final Fantasy is my favorite game of all time. I love all the characters. I love the story, full of emotion. The journey that these characters go through, I'm talking about the original, is awesome. The villain Sephiroth is awesome. I like that you don't face Sephiroth until the very end. It builds him up so high, and then when you get to him, doesn't disappoint. And then when it came to this one, and this one was announced, I believe, in 2015, and just waiting so long for this game to come out, and then it finally came out. I dedicated my life to this game. I think it took me exactly a week, and I dedicated 5 days, 5 hours, so about 40 hours, and I really love this game. Oh, and the music. I love the music in the original game. I really like the music in this one too. I like how they remade it. I thought it was really cool, and then the new songs that they added to it is really cool. I do have some tiny little nitpicks and gripes about this one, but they're spoilers, so I hate that I'm not going to be able to discuss it more. But I really like this game. I love this game a lot. This is a game that I did everything, all the side quests, the mini quests. I ran around everywhere, checked every nook and cranny for items, just because I've been waiting so long for this game, and I'm gonna do everything I can just because I waited so freaking long for it. And to me, overall, it didn't disappoint. Like I said, the things that I kind of have problems with weren't really too big a deal. I can't wait for part 2 to come out, and kind of see what they do with it. I hope, from what I heard, it's gonna come out sooner than we think. So definitely gonna be getting that. I'm gonna dedicate my life to that game too. I guess one thing that I can say is that, like I said, in the original, you don't face Sephiroth. You actually don't fight him until the very end. But this one, you kind of fight him kind of early on, and that kind of bugged me, just because when the other parts, and if you come across him, it's not going to be really a big deal because you haven't really waited long to fight him. But I guess that's the only thing I'll say. I can't say the other things, but really love this game, and like I said, no question that this is my number one choice. All right, and there you have it. And those are my top 10 choices, my top 10 favorite PS4 games. It's crazy that we're already at the end of this generation. I'm really looking forward to the PS5 coming out. I think it looks awesome. I can't wait to get that controller in my hand, and that's one thing that I look forward to when it comes to new generations, is that controller, and how different does it feel, and you know what I mean. Can't wait to pick it up. Can't wait to play Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village or Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 and all the other games that are coming out. But overall, really cool, really awesome generation, and can't wait to look for the future. PS5 coming out sometime in the holiday. As I record this video, they haven't released a date or price, so hopefully we get that soon. But that's gonna be all for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you would like to list your top 10 PS4 games, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and maybe we could discuss it. I'd like to know your thoughts on maybe my list, on how trash my list might be to you, or just how we can compare. I'd like to discuss it with you guys. I want to know what you guys think. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Koopa Cola signing off.